Imagine a kid in 1987. Saturday morning. He wakes up, watches cartoons on a box TV, then rides his bike outside all day with zero supervision. No phone, no GPS, no one tracking him. Then, 15 years later, that same person is building his first website, learning to code from scratch, adjusting to a world that changed completely overnight. That kid isn't a boomer. He isn't a millennial. He's something in between. And that in-between space shaped him in ways most people have never stopped to think about. There's a generation that doesn't get talked about enough. And if you were born between 1975 and 1985, this video is about you. If this is already stirring something in you, you're exactly the kind of person who belongs at Mind Unlocked. Hit subscribe so you never miss one of these. Here's what the research says. Sociologists Dan Woodman and Johanna Wynn coined the term Xennial to describe a microgeneration caught between Generation X and millennials. Not fully one. Not fully the other. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Sociology found that this group experienced a uniquely split identity, an analog childhood followed by a completely digital adulthood. Not a slow transition, a hard cut, almost overnight. Think about what that actually means. You learned to read maps before Google Maps existed. You memorized phone numbers because there was no other option. You understand boredom, real, deep, no phone boredom, because you lived it. And then, without warning, the entire world digitized around you. And somehow, you adapted. Completely. But here's the reframe. What looks like adaptability is actually something deeper. It's cognitive flexibility, the brain's ability to switch between two completely different modes of operating. Xennials didn't just survive two worlds. They learned to think in two languages simultaneously. That's not a small thing. That's a psychological superpower most people don't even know they have. What looks like nostalgia for cassette tapes and dial-up internet is actually identity anchoring, the subconscious need to remember who you were before the world asked you to become someone else entirely. What looks like generational confusion, not quite Gen X, not quite millennial, is actually perspective privilege. You are one of the only generations alive who can genuinely understand both the person who has never known a world without a smartphone and the person who built their character in a world without one. What looks like anxiety around technology is actually something researchers call adaptation fatigue, the exhaustion that comes from being asked to relearn the world, not once, but multiple times, while still functioning at full speed. Close your eyes for a second. Think about the last time the internet went down. That mild, strange discomfort you felt. That pause. That not knowing what to do with your hands. Boomers didn't feel it. Millennials didn't feel it the same way. But you did, because somewhere in you, there's still that kid on the bike, still that person who knows what silence actually sounds like. That memory isn't just nostalgia. According to psychologist Erik Erikson's theory of identity development, the experiences we had between ages 8 and 18 become the psychological foundation everything else is built on. Your foundation was analog, your life became digital, and somehow you held both. That tension, that push and pull between two worlds is not a weakness. It is the exact thing that makes Xennials some of the most emotionally intelligent, adaptable, quietly resilient people in any room. I want to know, what's one thing from your childhood that you're genuinely glad today's kids will never have to experience? Drop it in the comments below. And if this made you think of someone you know who fits this exactly, share this video with them. It might be the first time someone finally put into words what they've felt for years. Here's the question I want to leave you with. You were shaped by a world that no longer exists, and you function fluently in a world that didn't exist when you were born. Most people pick one identity and hold on to it. You carry two. So the real question is, which version of you do you trust more? The one the old world built, or the one the new world required? Think about that. And whenever you're ready, Mind Unlocked will be here.